Welcome to the health lecture on the importance of cleansing and detoxification. I'm LeTa Jussila, one of the founders of the Santa Cruz Challenge, and we're here to guide you on why it's important to cleanse. So, why are these programs important? What is cleansing? What is the BIA test? How to choose a cleansing program, and then what your particular options are. So every day we're exposed to toxic substances in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. It is good medicine to practice detoxification to reduce the toxic load. So although the body is designed to eliminate toxins, we have a threshold, okay? And the major detoxification organs in the body are the liver and the GI tract. So then you add the standard American diet. And as many of you know, we're not getting the adequate nutrients that we need from our food. What's the problem with the American lifestyle? Chronic stress creates inflammation and burdens the toxic load on the system. And then you get toxicity. So toxic substances are from internal and external sources. And look at all the symptoms that people experience when they have too much toxicity in the body. So cleansing means different things to different people. From fasting to laxatives to enemas. Some people do supplements. Some people think it's expensive. So what do you want to look for in a cleansing program? Definitely a hypoallergenic, non-inflammation diet. Encourage protein and all the other things listed. But bottom line is, when you're doing it properly, you're moving towards optimal health, to sustainability, feeling as good as you can while you're here. So what are you going to discover on a cleanse? How the food makes you feel. Okay, you're going to address any bad habits and hopefully make long-lasting lifestyle changes around your relationship with food. So the cleanses, we offer 3 different kinds of cleanses. And we do this because it varies on people's lifestyles. So the 10 or 21 day programs, so we have 2 10-day and 1 21-day. And they all do similar things: decreasing the toxic load, having an hypoallergenic anti-inflammatory diet. Some have shakes and protein powders and liver supplements. And all of them have self-care strategies and support. So the diet, it's going to take out any inflammation, any allergens, reduce toxic burden. The eating plan, so you can eat as much as you want of unprocessed whole foods. Okay, you don't have to count calories, you don't have to worry about portions, which is very nice. And this is just a word on nightshades that if you do have, aches and pains and are suffering from inflammation, that you might want to take out any kind of inflammation causing foods, which is nightshades. We recommend some self-care strategies during the cleanse. Hydrotherapy is making the hot water turn to cold in the shower. Come and talk to us if you have any other questions on the other ones. But we are not promoting fasting, laxatives, enemas, or colonics at this time for a number of different reasons. So is this cleanse a weight loss cleanse? No. Do you or can you lose weight on a cleanse? Yes. This is about decreasing the toxic load, which allows the body to function better. So is it better than a weight loss program? Well, I think so. It's definitely a great way to jumpstart if fat loss is your goal. So whatever you decide to do a cleanse or not to do a cleanse, it's important to know the following things. Detoxification is good medicine, where you're reducing the toxic burden on the body, you're removing any elements that can lead to disease, and you're cleansing the major organs, the liver and the intestines. So why are we doing this? Well, toxic substances are both internal and external sources. Food additives, chemical solvents, and etc. These wastes do not only come from large industrial chemical factories. Many of the cleaners and pesticides that we use in and around our home. And look at all the symptoms. Toxic overload and the inability to effectively eliminate toxic substances have also been associated with serious health conditions. The liver is the primary detoxification organ in the body. It processes about 2 quarts of blood every minute, removing particles and preparing them for elimination. This makes the liver one of the most hardest working organs in the body. You can say that the liver protects the rest of the body from harmful substances by reducing their toxicity and making them ready for excretion. One way we can support the liver is to nourish it with these important vitamins and minerals. Eating healthy, fresh fruits and vegetables, good quality whole grains, legumes, and low-fat meat, poultry, and fish will provide these nutrients. Two very important groups of fruits and vegetables for detoxification are the cruciferous vegetables and citrus fruits that contain limonene. The cruciferous vegetable family also contains substances called indoles. These substances can reduce the toxicity of substances that might otherwise lead to cancer. Studies are showing that people that eat this group of vegetables regularly have fewer hormone-related cancers. The citrus fruits, the limonene, supports the liver's detoxification process. Try to get something in the citrus group every day. These nutrients are used by the liver to detoxify and prepare substances for elimination. These foods and nutrients are powerful as they not only provide nutrition for energy and growth, they also help the body rid itself of harmful substances. The B vitamins provide the biochemically necessary methyl groups for detoxification. An herb that has extensive research behind it is milk thistle. An extract from the milk thistle plant, silymarin, has been shown to protect the liver from damage by toxic substances. It has many times the antioxidant activity of vitamin C and E. One way that milk thistle enhances detoxification is by preventing the depletion of a very important detoxifying substance called glutathione. The higher the level of glutathione, the better the liver is able to handle toxic substances. The intestinal tract is another very important organ involved in preventing toxic overload. It acts as a natural barrier to substances that are not supposed to enter the circulation. If large particles are allowed to pass or leak into the general circulation, they can promote inflammation. Keeping the intestinal tract healthy is a good strategy to prevent leaky gut. The GI tract is susceptible to damage in a variety of ways. Balancing the flora or good bacteria, limiting the use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, providing nutritional support, minimizing the use of alcohol, caffeine, processed foods, and food additives, as well as managing stress, are all ways to prevent leaky gut. There are hundreds of different species of microflora that live in our GI tracts. Overgrowth of one kind relative to another can lead to a variety of health problems. One way to promote a healthy balance of intestinal tract microflora is to use probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics means for life and is used to emphasize the healthy effects of friendly bacteria, such as Lactobacillus, Acidophilus, and Bifidobacteria. Taking antibiotic medications, antibiotics means anti-life, can wipe out the good as well as the bad bacteria. Taking probiotics after a course of antibiotics can restore the friendly bacteria. Homemade yogurt, sauerkraut, and acidophilus milk will provide these probiotics. Or you might want to take a dietary supplement, as food sources are not reliable sources of lactobacillus. Prebiotics refer to substances known as fructooligosaccharides, a complex molecule that is healthful to the GI tract. You can get FOS from honey, onions, bananas, and oats, to name a few. We can't really talk about the intestinal health without including fiber in this discussion. Low fiber diets are known causes of constipation. Laxative sales are well over 500 million in this country, which could be unnecessary by ensuring a high level of dietary fiber. We recommend 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day, but most people get 10 or less. There are really only two general types of fiber in foods, soluble and insoluble, and they act in different ways in the body. Soluble fiber is the kind that dissolves in water and forms a thick, viscous gel. Fruit pectin is a soluble fiber and used to make jellies. Soluble fiber produces substances in the GI tract that feed and nourish the cells. stimulate healing and preventing cancer growth. Eating more fiber can reduce the risk of colon cancer. And also, soluble fiber decreases the body's production of cholesterol, which, reduces the risk of heart disease. It's also good for blood sugar control because it slows down the rate of glucose absorption. It's important not to go overboard on fiber supplements, as this can create imbalances of its own. Food contain a mixture of both soluble and insoluble fiber. The best sources of soluble fiber are listed here. Apples and berries are the best fruits of sources of soluble fiber. Insoluble fiber does not form a gel in water, but it does aid in elimination. It helps detoxify the body by preventing toxic substances from remaining in the GI tract and causing damage. It also helps detoxify intestinal toxins. Therefore, insoluble fiber also prevents cancerous growth. Like soluble fiber, it helps control blood sugar by slowing its absorption into the bloodstream. Again, I want to emphasize that these foods are mixtures of both soluble and insoluble fiber. However, these foods have more insoluble fiber. So whole wheat and other whole grains, cereals, and vegetables are good sources. Can you see why so many nutritionists and doctors recommend fruits, vegetables, and whole grains? Incidentally, to avoid exposure to pesticides and herbicides, choose organic where possible. Most people don't get near the recommended levels of fiber in their daily diets. How can you get up to 25 to 30 grams per day? Take a look at this chart. But one of the most important things I want to note is that if you're new to eating fiber, add slowly, and then remember to drink enough water per day. Another way to promote the health of your intestinal tract is to season it with these herbs and spices. Garlic has been used for centuries as a medicinal food, as it has antibiotic and antimicrobial properties, and it's effective against harmful bacteria, yeast, and parasites. Onions also has antimicrobial properties and will promote a healthy GI tract. Turmeric is antibiotic and antifungal. It's used for centuries to relieve inflammation. And then the rest of those herbs have antifungal and antibiotic properties. Using these seasonings regularly in cooking can help reduce the risk for intestinal inflammation and leaky gut. They should be used at the end of cooking, as heating over 200 degrees Fahrenheit will destroy their antibacterial activity. So let's go over the overview of the steps in detoxing. When we look at this chart, the first thing that we're going to do is reduce toxic exposure in your lifestyle. Second, we're going to include some dietary changes. Thirdly, we're going to look at how you're doing, monitoring your detoxification, looking at any supplements if needed, and then the rest is maintenance. So you all had the bioelectrical impedance analysis test at your initial health and fitness day at the Santa Cruz Challenge. I want to go through how it works and why you need it, how to explain your results. So the first thing we're looking at is total body water in comparison to fat-free mass. Okay, so this is going to tell us if you're hydrated or not. So higher is typically better, and we want more water inside the cell. That's what I'm looking for. So total body water in comparison to fat-free mass. Again, we're looking at dehydration, but the percentage of total weight that is water, it will decline with age because we dry up. The next one we're looking at is phase angle. So this is the general indicator of cellular health. This is kind of like the Wii, where it tells you your age. So it's going to provide us information on cell membrane potential at the tissue level. We all know Lance Armstrong. He was monitored with the BIA during his preparation for the Tour de France. So when we look at phase angle, we're looking at cellular health. This is going to tell us how old you are in a sense. So the higher your phase angle, the healthier you are. So intracellular water and extracellular water, you want more water inside the cell. Otherwise, it can indicate fluid retention and edema. This is kind of an overview chart of the process of detoxification. And I know we can't see it too clearly here, although I have hard copies printed out at each of the health lecture. Step 4, fat-free mass versus fat. So the BIA can determine both subcutaneous fat, which is the love handles, as well as visceral fat, which is around the organs, and that's the fat you want. So going through here, the next few slides are research, clinical studies, and they found that fat-free mass was lower and fat mass was higher in people with chronic disease, which makes sense. So you want less fat mass. So looking at the mass, obviously a downward shift will say balanced weight loss, which is what we want. When we are shifting body composition, we want to make sure that you're losing actual fat instead of muscle. So taking the BIA before and after when you do a program like this is vital, so we know that you're losing the appropriate weight, that it's not water, that it's not the good stuff, that you're actually losing the fat. So one of the things that has been happening with CrossFit years ago is sarcopenia. So this is about the body already being depleted of protein, and then once people are starting to work out, well, it's not good. So it's just a reinforcement that you need protein, okay? Muscle is the major source of protein for antibody production, and it's just vital. So the BIA, this can be used for so many different things, used in medical clinics all over the county. So BMI, I'm sure you've heard of body mass index. We want to make sure that your shift is towards health, so lower is better. So the next slides are going through different indications of risk. So diabetes risk with high BMI levels, weight gain in response to, diabetes and risk in response to weight gain, which is a relative index. They did a 26-year incidence of coronary heart disease in men in corresponding to BMI levels. And then hypertension. So the relationship between BMI and people reporting problems with hypertension increased, very high. Same with cholesterol. So the higher that your BMI is, the more you're susceptible to getting chronic disease and earlier in life. Hysterectomy, a correlation between a higher BMI. So you can see the importance of this. And look at back pain. Look how the percentage of back pain increasing with someone's BMI. Now, you might not be weary of a chronic disease, but look at constant tiredness. This is a factor that could pervade in multiple people that I know. So relationships of BMI to excess mortality. So there are a higher risk to death with the higher BMI and for a longer time period. So looking at basal metabolic rate, BMR, it's the amount of calories that you burn in a 24-hour period at rest. And we gave you the number that is your BMR, and it's nice to get a snapshot of the calorie intake. We have normal reference values that we gauge your values to see where you are based on standard American values. So some guidelines for the cleanse, got to keep hydrated, okay? So you want to drink a minimum of 8 glasses a day, an optional high magnesium rehydration drink. So intracellular toxicity, if you have that, then you need a detoxification program, fish oils and magnesium glycinate. If you need a body composition, again, all these nutritional guidelines are based on your BIA results. All patients, all of you should consider multivitamins and increase your antioxidant levels, which could include CoQ10 and vitamins E and C. So we talked today about the importance of keeping your liver and intestinal tract healthy. These two organs provide defenses against harmful bacteria. The GI tract itself is subject to damage by eating the wrong foods, as you know, or eating the right foods. The liver can be overburdened by the substances we expose it to, either by choice or by circumstances not in our control. We can promote the health of these important organs by eating plenty of organic fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, as well as using fiber supplements when necessary. So, pricing options. So, the 10-day elimination diet is completely free, and that is included in the Santa Cruz Challenge. Now, after filling out the health questionnaire, it might say that you need to cleanse your liver or cleanse your GI tract, your adrenals. So there is optional supplements, and that is based on your results on the form. And people that need a longer cleanse, we have a 21-day or 28-day, which is the same price, for $240. So any questions, please contact us. We're happy to help you. We are going to be starting the cleanse on February 20th, which gives you enough time to decide what you'd like to do.